So Taylor, I know that you obviously have other things going on right now, but if you get this message, we would love for you to perform at the Super Bowl.
Hey guys, welcome to the official YouTube page for Calm Down with Erin and Charissa. This is where you can watch all of our ridiculous conversations and fun interviews.
We have full shows. We've got pre-games, anything and everything that you guys could want. But first, you're going to have to subscribe. Just hit subscribe right there and you're good to go.
And now you can calm down with us.
Yep. Can you tell that we're reading this off a script? We hope so. All right. We need to calm down and wrap this bad boy up. Press subscribe. Thanks for listening.
Calm Down with Erin and Charissa is a production of iHeartRadio.
Welcome, everybody, to the Calm Down podcast. Erin's got a story she's never told me or
That's a lie. You've
the
heard
listeners.
this. It was a 1:00 kick on Fox. Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, Erin Andrews with the call. And we come
America's
on
Game of
live.
the week.
Yeah, no, it was 1:00. So, Kurt throws it. We're somewhere. And maybe we were in Philly. And they kick off and Joe goes, no, right before they kick off, Joe goes, hello, everybody. Welcome to Philadelphia Eagles taking on the New York Giants. And then the words of Tone Loc, let's do it.
No.
I pissed myself. I thought that was so funny. Let's do it. Like, I just texted Joe right away. I'm like, I'm crying. It was so good.
Oh, my God. What a group. And with that, we welcome you. We are only a few weeks away from the start. It has been 2 weeks since we have talked to you guys. We were off 1 week, and then I had the airplane debacle along with the rest of the world that was traveling, which is
Let's
so crazy.
talk about that.
Our dependency on technology is scary.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying anything we don't know, but like the fact that like what I kept thinking about is like, look, everyone knows that the whole system that went down when it affected airports, it affected hospitals. And that's what I was thinking about. Like banks. Then I was thinking about like, wonder if you wake up in the morning and like you look at your bank account and all the money's gone. It's like, wouldn't you freak out? And it's like, oh no, we're just having a technical issue. Like this is why I don't trust crypto. Cause I'm like, one day it'd just be gone. And like, there was a glitch and like anything that I ever had is gone. But anyways, in this particular case, all that was gone was me getting home in time to do the podcast because there was delays and delays and delays. But here's the thing. We talk about this a lot on here. It is not the flight attendant's fault. No. It is not the pilot's fault. No. It is not the ticket agent's fault that the operating system went down. So these people went ballistic on this plane. There was a contingent of about 4 couples. There's these two
on your plane?
On my plane. These 2 couples, and they were too old to be acting this way. Let me just say that. They were like, we are being held hostage. And I wanted to be like, first of all, don't you dare use that term ever, ever, okay? Because what we know is going on in the world, that is insane behavior to act like that and say that phrase. And don't yell at the flight attendant. You think that this is her, you think that she, you know what she thought to herself when she woke up in the morning? You know what I want to do? Be stuck on a plane with these people. No. So knock it off. So make the most of the situation, which again is not ideal. And this is where I think I'm getting a lot better in life. And I will give Steve credit for this. The old me would have been like, fuck. Now, you know what I do? What are you going to do? Like surrendering to a situation is just so much better. So you know what I did? I was like, I'm going to organize all the pictures on my phone that are always all over the place. And I can't find them in an album because I go to show you something from the ranch and I'm scrolling back and I can't find anything. So I organized photos. Steve and I had a little nice, date, whatever on our FaceTime thing. Like just make the most of the situation. So as much as I miss being with you guys, we're back.
I loved how you handled that with your attitude. So you got it a lot worse than I did. The day it actually happened, that Friday, I was trying to fly home from LA and I woke up to so many text messages like, this is bad, everything's canceled. I was able to get home that night. It took me like literally 24 hours, but I got home. You paid a half your price. That was nuts for you. But I agree. Just be nice. At the point that my travel was happening and the interruptions, I got to the counter. I'll give United a shout out. I don't normally fly them, but they were great. The computers were down. The kiosks were down. My app was down. Fox was trying to get me on the flight, but it kept saying when I could log on that I was canceled. I couldn't tell. This woman was so great behind the counter. because I couldn't do it on the kiosk. It was taking forever. It was like the dial-up internet.
How do you feel about that word kiosk too? I like it.
Well, I keep saying it, so it's okay. But then she brought me to behind the counter and she's like, I thought that was you. I didn't want to say anything.
Oh.
Love the podcast, love football, blah, 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 blah. Helped me out. I was like, I'm so sorry. This has been a crap day. She was like, no, the morning was worse. Afternoon's been fine.
Sweet
Just be nice to people. It's not their fault. And thanks for being a listener.
Yes, exactly. But no, I think that hopefully as I grow older in situations, I'm finding that, no, look, if there's something, an emergency and I needed to get home for, whether it was, I don't have kids, but like, whatever, of course, I'd be a little bit more stressed out and you don't know what even like travelers are going for. Like I think about people that are like traveling for maybe a trip that they've, haven't taken in years and then it's like it gets canceled. Oh my gosh.
Or
actually,
the people with all those kids that they can't afford a hotel or aren't able to get to the hotel. That's the shit I felt bad about. I was like, all these families laying there. By the way, if you guys weren't at the airport, you couldn't get into restaurants. If you didn't have cash, you were screwed because the ATMs didn't work. Like it was mayhem.
And you're exactly right. I thought about like, okay, luckily I have the means to get an Uber and go get a hotel so I don't have to lay here. But anyways, I think all in all, my takeaway from that situation is whether you're the employee or you're the flyer or whatever, just have some patience. We're all in this together. In the words of Clark Griswold, no one's going anywhere.
We're all miserable.
We're all miserable. Okay, so that was why we missed the podcast last week. So we're back. And what else has been happening? You have been trying to enjoy the last bit of your break.
Yeah,
you went to the rodeo. How was the rodeo?
Rodeo was great. Had a great time. Shout out to Candace and Sean, the commish of the rodeo. Had a wonderful time. But before that, we got to see each other at the Fox NFL and college football seminar and was so great. I mean, we had one of the nights, you made such a right call. We were like, oh, where do we sit? Where do we sit? Krista goes, let's go right here with Howie and Stray. Then Gronk comes, Jillian comes, Greg comes. And it was just so much fun. We laughed so hard. Howie told the best stories. Strahan was hilarious. Greg was telling us the Christian McCaffrey, Olivia Culpo wedding story. I mean, it was so funny.
It was funny. And I'm always reminded because shout out to Fox for doing these and how important it is to get together in the off season because we don't get to hang out like studio and game crews. We don't hang out all year because obviously we're in different locations. So I think and you're an owner you own Where and you have employees and I have like 2 employees for House and Home, but I'm reminded that is very beneficial for the camaraderie of the group to get everyone together and to do those kinds of things. And not all companies do that. So I appreciate Fox for that because just spending time with people that, you work with them, but they're also your family is the best. Like it felt like a family reunion whenever we do that. So enjoyed that.
Didn't enjoy my hangover, but both nights, but it was so much fun.
Sometimes it's worth it until the flight got canceled.
Cooper Manning.
Oh my God.
Had us in, here we go. Wait for it. Stitches.
Cooper Manning, as you can imagine, so hysterical. I don't know. I wish we could tell half the stories. That's always annoying too. When you're like, there's so many funny stories we can't tell. I'd like to keep my job. Anyways, but it was a good time.
One of the stories we can tell was Commissioner Roger Goodell is always great enough to come and see us at the seminar. He did a great Q&A with Eric Shanks, the president of Fox Sports. And then afterwards hangs around and whether or not he wanted to be accosted by Charissa and I think he did because he stayed around with us for a while. We started talking. He got cornered. But I went in. Roger. I almost called him when my flight was delayed or canceled. I was like, hi, Commish. Anyway, you could drop me off in Montana. But for you Swifties and for you non-Swifties and whoever else cares about Super Bowl halftime, Charissa and I did the best we could about delivering our opening and closing remarks about why the NFL has to have this year Taylor Swift as their Super Bowl halftime. Would you like to indulge the audience in a couple of reasons why we think now is the time? Well, Fox has it. We want it.
Well, selfishly, we want her, as you guys all know, our affinity for Taylor, but we want it because it's Fox's Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But also on the heels of all of the nonsense from last year, the Chads and Dads that didn't want her to be shown on television, but I don't know, maybe bringing in not only the revenue, but also the new audience of young women or girls or boys that didn't watch but love her anyways. It's just, she's never done it. And obviously, and there's no bigger star in the world. There's no bigger star in the world. And so it's like, look, does she need to do that? No, of course she doesn't need to do it. But this is what we were talking about. Michael Jackson didn't need to do the halftime Super Bowl performance, but he did. Whitney Houston didn't need to sing the national anthem, but she did. I feel like Taylor, if you're listening, your resume is full of everything. You have done it all. But don't you want to also say that you have performed at a Super Bowl halftime? And if you have it your way and the Kansas City Chiefs have it their way, it'll be at your boyfriend's game. Well, they look to three-peat for the first time ever in the history of the league. So it'd be a culmination of things that have never been done before. A three-peat, if they win, and you performing at halftime.
And there's no better time. Yes, she does everything right. So I'm sure she'll have a great explanation, but I don't know. I will be doing the Super Bowl with a broken heart if she doesn't do halftime because I'm miserable. But I just feel like coming off of this, and again, Chris has said it, the dads, the Brads, the Chads.
It'd be amazing.
Charissa, myself, Steve, and Jarrett, because Steve and Jarrett want us to shut up, have been manifesting this. I mean, we'll leave each other in our group chat voice notes about, Steve will go, you guys, she has to. And I'm like, I follow up, there's no better time. Guys, there's no better time.
If not now, when? You'll have some time off after the tour, which again, we talked about it on the pregame. We have so many questions, how that girl night after night. But again, we won't go down that rabbit hole. Taylor, you need to do the Super Bowl, just like you needed to go on a date with Travis. So if this all comes to fruition, are you performing right now? What are you doing?
I think somebody's coming up my stairs. Oh, the lighting here is horrific. Hold on. Was somebody coming up or are you just barking like a crazy animal? Nope. I'm going to go here now. We're going back.
And action. Hi, Howie.
Wait. Go back to your thing. Yes, please.
Wait, I lost your mic, sis.
Oh. Are we there?
Howard.
Hello,
yeah, you just sound far away.
I just think this is the time. I do. I think it's the time.
There, she's back. Yep. So Taylor, I know that you obviously have other things going on right now, but if you get this message, we would love for you to perform at the Super Bowl. So then we can interview you, please. Michael Strahan, I know you always get to do the big interviews, but you're going to have to sit this one out. Okay.
And here's the thing. We don't want well, first of all, Taylor, if you get this, please come on. But Swifties, I mean, you people have power out there. Come on. Yes. It's time to start manifesting this. Also, by the way, I know you did because we DM each other everything from her concert. Munich, did you see those fans on that hill?
Knock it off. Yes, of course. It
was so magical.
All of it. Okay. So right. Taylor, we need you to perform at the Super Bowl, and that's that. So we'll look forward to it. And before that, we've got the season coming up, which we're very excited about. I know we've joked like kind of throughout the quote off season. Don't you love it when people are like, oh, would you do this off season? Off season, it's fun. It's actually great. I love how busy we are because look, there's going to be a time in life, as Scott Thompson always likes to remind me, that people won't call for you to do things and you won't be busy. So being busy is good. But I was just thinking about this as I was like looking for my hotel room where I just got to in Nashville.
What room am I in?
And I was like, oh my God, that I have a real problem when there's carpet and we're rolling the suitcase and it's like the end of the hall and it's so hard. You guys, I want to start a petition. Why do we put carpets in airports? Why?
I don't know airports, but I think in hotels it's because
for the noise, the acoustics. Yeah.
Could it be for airports as well?
I don't know. It's just that suitcase and we're rolling it around. Although, I have so many things. We should do a whole podcast, which we do anyways, on just airport, like positives and negatives of things. Because
what are you mean? That's our podcast every week.
I know, because I was just thinking about how Steve is with me right now, and he was taking liberties with the size of the suitcase, and I was like, that's not going to fit in the overhead. And he's like, it sure is. It's going to fit. It's like the overhead. I wish that there was like a universal size of the overhead, because sometimes my bag fits in one, but then it won't fit in the other. And I hate being the person that's like cramming it in when I'm like, it fit on the last flight, but I don't know. It's a whole thing.
Hey, I'm gonna take a turn here.
Please
It's gonna be a little bit more serious. We talked about this on the pregame show Perspective. The reason why I thought of this is our girlfriend Jillian Gregory, who does our makeup and is also our really good friend.
Yes.
She always complains about the carpet in airports. Why? Because she's schlepping around her bags and she's schlepping around our makeup. And she is about a peanut, a size of a peanut, and she's amazing. And she's fantastic. We always have fun about her voice and the funny stuff she says. But today I was very, very, very proud of our girl. And I would like to give her a shout out for that. Our girl found out last year that she actually had the BRCA gene. And as she explains in her Instagram, that gene basically means the chance of getting breast cancer is about an 85% chance in her lifetime, which she explained was a little too high for her. And for a lot of people, as Charissa knows, she has gone through hell over the last 12 months, getting a series of surgeries. Yeah. And she wrote in her Instagram post, the last year definitely has been hard, but the alternative could have been much worse. And she encourages girls to go and look after yourself, go for your mammogram, ultrasounds, blood test, all that. I am so proud of you. I love you so much. This has been a horrific experience for her, but I think she's learned a lot. And I love that she put that out there today.
Yeah, Jills, we love you. And I think it's also great what you just said, that she reminded people that being preventative, and we talked about it before, just health. If you don't have it, you have nothing else. And, you know, unfortunately, she had to go through that. But I do think that no matter what you go through in your life, and you've had to go through your own hell with cervical cancer and even with infertility and different things that you've had to go through, and how hopefully when things like seem to be hard and then you put it in perspective, you're like, oh, but I can do that. And sometimes I remember somebody telling me one time, like, it's boring. You're boring if you don't have adversity in your life, whatever that has looked like. Like, you become a more interesting person when you know what you're capable of going through. So I think that hopefully Jillian, and I know she won't say this about herself, but I think that she's grown a lot as a person having to go through adversity, because if it doesn't, you know, whatever, as the expression goes, blank you, because I'm not going to say that. I don't like saying kill you, makes you stronger, but it does. And I'm really proud of her too. So Jill's, shout out. And that's a reminder, I need to get a mammogram. I haven't had one in
I gotta go. I also have to make a cancer appointment too. And I hate it so much. It's the worst thing, because it's the worst and the best thing.
Do you have to go every year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And really the hardest part of it is that the waiting rooms are just packed.
Yeah.
And you just realize how awful this disease is. And there's obviously people in such worse shape than you. And I'm like, why am I having so much anxiety when these people are just obvious? They look worse, you know, they feel worse. So it's tough. I always treat myself to McDonald's drive-thru afterwards because I feel like shit. I'm like, I need a chicken McNugget with sweet and sour sauce right now. It's awful.
That sweet and sour sauce, though, I did that the other day with barbecue. Side note, the air that gets stuck in there, and I open it and it sprayed right on me.
Oh yeah, or on your steering wheel, and you're trying to lick it off because you don't have a wet wipe, and it's like it's gotten worse.
Now the crumbs from the chicken McNugget are in the seats.
Oh, they're what?
How do we let Mac eat in the car?
Holes?
Yeah, they get
Mac
stuck in
doesn't eat in
those
the car.
No, I could see you not being like, no, we don't need to eat in the car.
Well, there's no reason to. Like, we're going home. We're fine. It's not like we're going these long, like 6-hour trips. You know what thing my mom and dad got me? They're big Infomercial shoppers for Christmas, which always kills me because it's the shit that you wanted to try. They got the seat like in between seat guards. So, you don't drop a French fry down there, or like a random chicken McNug that you're on the 405 and you're like, shit, I can't get that now. And then your hand's there?
Look at, why do I have this scrape right here on my hand? Because I was digging in, I was messing with my ring and it fell in there and I was like, no. And so I'm digging down in the hole. Would have had that if I had the little bumpers in the side. Forget a bowling alley.
Yeah.
I love that they're infomercial shoppers.
Oh my God. They're so good at it.
The copper hose, the guy from Tim the Toolman Taylor, his friend, whatever his name was on the show, he's advertising this copper hose. This is when you know you're old and you have a ranch. I want the hose that doesn't twist up. And it's like, you don't have that kink in the hose because when I'm out there watering, I don't want to have to then walk all the way back. I know. So I went to order it and I was like, next to Steve, he goes, absolutely not. You're not getting that. And I was like, why? I was like, I want that hose. I'm getting it. Who's he to tell me what I can get? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love an infomercial. The Ronco food dehydrator. I used to love that. And the Braun hand blender. Remember the Chop guy or the ShamWow guy?
Oh, yeah.
I know all the people. Those
knives were incredible, too. Or how about the glue that like you could put a cylinder block on your wall and it was holding? Come on.
I always thought that I would be really good on like a home shopping network because my enthusiasm for the product would be so good. I'd be like, you are losing money by not buying this. That happened to me at Home Goods the other day. And I thought about you because when you and Jarrett went to Home Goods, you hate that experience. It's my dream because when I leave a Home Goods and I find these amazing items, I think to myself, what would I have done if I didn't go in there and I didn't have these? And I was like, I think they're like rare treasures. It's like I used to go garage sailing with my grandma when I was younger. And I would leave the garage sale and be like, oh my God, I'm the luckiest girl in the world. Like I have these items and wonder if I hadn't stopped at that garage sale. Yeah, I just love it. I feel it's garage sale shopping, but with new stuff.
Mm-hmm. You can never find a matching pair at Home Goods.
You just got to have the patience.
There's no matching pair. Well, it's not going to just show up 3 days later. There's no matching
Might show up
pair.
on aisle 4. People just start throwing that crap down in different aisles.
I don't like that either. There should be a rule. No. You got to put it back where you found it. No, I don't like that.
What is the song you sing to Mac? It's like him putting his toys away.
It's time for cleanup. It's time for cleanup. It's time for cleanup and throw our things away. My kid saw his first like wildlife the other day. What a time. We were driving. We saw an elk.
Were we at the zoo? Oh, Jesus.
No, there was elk. And he was just like, and it was just like mouth open.
So big. Please tell me you were in the car. You weren't walking and the elk sauntered up.
Lots of bears here.
Boy. Speaking of infomercial things, there is on Fox News, they're always advertising My Pillow, the My Pillowcase guy, My Pillow. So
is he in trouble or something?
I don't know.
Ryan,
I'm gonna be in trouble if I don't get a My Pillow because some of our headlines we're going to dive right into. The headline is pillowcases can be dirtier than the toilet during summer. Experts warn. This already grosses Erin out. It grosses us all out. Your pillowcases could be considered dirtier than toilet. The good news is the bacteria are very likely to be from you. Ew.
I can't imagine what my makeup brush is like. I mean, if my pillow is dirtier than my toilet, what's my makeup brush?
Well, how about the fact that the makeup brush, I think I showed you at this seminar. I did. In my purse right here. Actually, it's probably right here. Come on, let's just see if it's still in here. This is so gross. Dominique gets so mad at me. So does Jillian. Normally, there's a makeup brush in there. But not in this case. Oh, yeah, it is. Look, here it is. Disgusting.
Yeah. No.
I'm disgusting. Right in the bottom of this, right with the gum and the hair thing and the wrapper that was left over from the mint because we have to have good breath. Right next to the money, right? Oh, because this seems like it's clean. Right? Just put that right next to that. Disgusting.
At the seminar and I'm going to have to, when I get home, go get some help on this, dealing with the worst chin acne of my life. The worst. And as Carissa knows, I was nonstop. Like if I saw a little bit of a whitehead, like I was picking it there, then I was adding more. I was so lucky I left the Fox NFL seminar without a massive staph infection because the amount of nasty shit I was doing to try to deal with my acne.
This is what she's doing. We're sitting
Tom
there,
Brady, and I'm like, sorry, you're not gonna get to see this all year. Like,
this is classic Erin.
So
we're sitting
disgusting.
there having a beverage, and she decides to pull out her compact. She has now wiped her chin, and she's reapplying the concealer. And I'm like,
adding
with the
lemon juice from the margarita.
I'm like, oh my God, bitch! Now's not the time, okay? But guess what? Go for it. It's what we do. We are masochists. We have issues.
It's so bad.
So, as we jump back into headlines, only because this one really stuck out to me. This is my new favorite thing. No.
Yeah.
No, not doing it. Julia Louis-Dreyfus and Jane Fonda embracing no as an answer. From her podcast, Wiser Than Me, Julia Louis-Dreyfus asked Jane Fonda what advice she would give her 21-year-old self. Fonda said, no is a complete sentence.
It's great.
Julia loved the response and talked to Jenna and Hoda about it, particularly women. I think sort of daunted by a no is a complete sentence. I'm telling you, there is so much power as I shake this table. I used to be so afraid of not wanting to be high maintenance. I still do. I like to be a gal that is considered easy to work with. She goes with the flow. Like, that's fine. But I have taken back a little bit of the power instead of like inconveniencing myself just to accommodate other people. I now say no. Like when someone said to me today, they're like, oh, can we jump on a call today? I go, no, we can't jump on a call. We can jump on a call tomorrow. That's convenient for me and that works for my schedule. Because the old me used to do everything I could to accommodate other people. And honestly, where does that get you? Like there's a time and a place to be compliant and go, like if our boss
20s, I was yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right. If our boss is calling like, hey, I need to talk to you, of course the answer is going to be yes.
Fine.
But if it's something that's not urgent or even not in your case because you were checking on my well-being and I appreciate that. But like, I don't respond to texts right away. I don't
That's great.
respond.
I need to do that.
Because it's like, it's not urgent. It's not. And I'm not going to just rush to answer your question because you want the answer right then. Like, so yeah, the no thing is really good for me. And it's actually giving me a lot of, I don't know, peace in my life by saying no to things and not feeling bad.
I love it.
That's all I got.
Good for you. That's amazing.
So I've been working on that. You also have some things that you want to work on.
Oh,
What
yeah.
are they?
I told Tracy Meniscus that we were going to give her a shout out, by the way. She signed a book for you, her new book, book 13. I think it's like 3 to 13, a new book she came out with. But Tracy is a friend out here in Montana that Charissa has met. I will tell you, this woman,
great Louis Vuitton collection.
Great Louis Vuitton, but great presence. I looked at her one night out here in Montana, the way she walked, the way she held herself. And I called Charissa the next day when she was taking my calls and my text messages. I said, these are 3 things I want to work on for this season. My posture, Tracy with her shoulders back, she just floats. Her saunter, I want to saunter on the field. Mm-hmm. Now, I walk with a purpose. I also walk like a dude. And I also sometimes I'm like, I'm just going to walk in and not, stand out when it's like, whatever. I'm on the field with Kevin Burkhardt, Tom Brady. Like, it's fine. We're going to stick out. Great. I am going to have posture. I am going to saunter and I am going to chew my gum with my mouth closed.
Look at that.
Here.
Bring
on
gal.
this season.
To a new season. Posture is something that I definitely think a lot about.
So bad.
And even as you just said posture, I immediately went like this and put my shoulders back. It does feel better when you have good posture.
And it looks so good.
It looks so good. It looks very regal. Well, you and I are complaining about our neck issues because we're old. But if you have better posture and you keep your chin up, you know what? It's that number one thing of these goddamn phones. This is why my neck looks like this because it's looking down. I got it up here with it. That's what I work on. I'm excited about this. I'm excited for you to
my saunter,
your saunter, your posture, all of the things. I am still in the process, like Joe Burrow, of figuring out what my hairstyle is going to be. Did you see this, cutie? I'm into it. You know what? Do you, Joe?
And also, by the way, for those of you that have to make your weird remarks, who are you, first of all? And second of all, just do you. Why can't everybody have fun? Aaron Rodgers always starts the season with a big mustache, like he's in preseason with that. Like, why do we have to be so boring all the time?
I don't know. And I love his comment when people are like, why'd you dye your hair like that? And for those of you that don't know, Joe Burrow, quarterback of the Cincinnati Bengals, he dyed his hair like platinum blonde. He looks great. And he just goes, I get bored. Joe, I get it. I put extensions in for these shoots I had to do. And I'm about 20 minutes from doing this event I have to go do. And I'm going to rip them all out because I already hate it. I get bored too. I don't know what I'm doing. I like short. I like long. I like dark. I like blonde. I was thinking about it the other day. Maybe I want to I'm, by the way, a marketing person's nightmare because they just paid all this money for this marketing shoot. And now I'm like, I think I want to go darker and shorter.
I want to be red.
Like, fuck. I'm like, Jesus Christ, get it together, Charissa. But good for you, Joe. Everyone just needs to do what makes them happy. But don't you just love that everyone has to have an opinion on everything? This is what's called being bored. What, you want to say something?
The people that just make the comments, it's like, what if Joe Burrow got behind the old microphone and made a comment about what you look like?
Right?
How would that go
Imagine.
oh my gosh, it would be a big ordeal and you can't talk about this person like that. Why are we being gross? Why are we just doing that? I mean, it goes along with, we talked about it a few minutes ago when we were coming back on for the big show about the report about, from, who is it? Some source. And a veteran NFL executive said, one of the more Josh Allen is one of the more overrated players in the NFL. And what this was, Jeremy Fowler, I guess, from ESPN had a source. Why say
sources are funny, aren't they?
So funny.
Anonymous. I'll leave that alone because I get in trouble for being too honest. So there's that.
I like what Brandon Bean, the GM, said. There are idiots everywhere. Like, come on. If you're going to say something by that, say it with your chest. Like, take ownership. I'm afraid, so I'm going to say something mean. It's like Twitter. Shut up.
And with that, welcome back to the Calm Down Podcast, everybody. We have missed you. For comments, questions, and concerns, please submit them to our Calm Down Podcast DMs. We love you guys. I'm going to run off and do this.
What do you got going on today? Oh, you can't tell me?
I can tell you anything. I'm lucky enough to host this event for Diageo to applaud the wonderful salesmen and women that have excelled in their respective categories. So we love that. Always a good time. That group, Diageo knows how to have a good time. You know what I mean?
Sure do. I love some Diageo. We're both working for Diageo. Why doesn't Diageo do a campaign with us together?
I don't know.
2 females that work in the NFL, 2 females that love some Diageo from time to time.
You know what I'd like to say at a time like this? Make it a double.
You and me. You know what I mean?
Cheers. Swipe up.
Please
love you guys. And you know what? At the end of the day, be nice and also say no. It's okay.
Calm Down with Erin and Charissa is a production of iHeartRadio.
For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.